welcome everybody to Wall Street Reporter's next Super Stock live stream, January 27th, 2022. We are back with a liquid avatar, LQAVF, over-the-counter, LQID, CSE. David Lukacs, the CEO. David, welcome back to the program.
Thanks, Jack. Great to be here. Welcome back to the cold.
That's right. You were back in Toronto. I think the last couple of times we had you on, you were in LA at the show. Then you were at one of your other locations in the US. And now we're back in Canada at the official corporate headquarters. So
Comic Book Central, yes.
Yeah, so we're going to get into all the exciting developments in the metaverse space that Liquid Avatar is doing. And of course, look, I'm very excited about this story here because we're seeing that the metaverse, NFTs, the metaverse, the market is very volatile right now. Look, a lot of NASDAQ stocks are down 50%. This has been a very rough week in the markets. But there's no question that this stuff is really, it's here to stay, and it's only getting bigger. And David, since the last time you were on, I think just a few weeks ago, you've had some major news announcements, developments based on your the company's growth initiatives in the metaverse space, with the digital land, NFTs, all that other good stuff. I think it's also important to emphasize is that, because again, the stock is only, it's a 16, 18 cent stock. And, a lot of investors, when they see these stocks in Canada that are 18, 20 cents, they think, oh, there's no revenue, there's a development stage or whatever. Actually, Liquid Avatar is starting to generate some, I would use the word either significant or massive, but it's somewhere between significant or massive revenues in the metaverse business, in metaverse NFT sales. I think you put out a number of something like you're getting close to $1 million just for the last few months you did before between October and December. Is that right?
That is correct. So
that's a massive, it's a massive number. And that's essentially from, I don't want to say it's from a dead start, but it's like, it really happened very suddenly.
It was from a dead start. I want to be candid. I think in the first 3 quarters, we did about $16,000 in revenue. And then we did, very much near $1 million in the fourth quarter. So, we can call call it as it is. It was pretty much a dead stop.
So that makes it even more exciting. It's interesting. A lot of these, these kind of these disruptive technologies is what we're calling them, right? So these disruptive technologies, a lot of times they start off with, for months it could be minimal revenues. It could be, I don't know, 10 grand or whatever the number is, minimal revenues. All of a sudden, a number shows up and people say, wow, something is happening. But when when I see a number like, even 6 figures or 7 figures, $1 million in revenues in basically a quarter in something which is a brand new thing like the metaverse, NFT sales, digital land, to me, that is, that to me is basically time to pay attention. I mean, that's a signal to pay attention because, this means that if you did $1 million from a dead start, you could be doing, I don't know, 5 million a quarter in a few months, and 25 million a year, and that could be worth I don't know, 500 million of valuation in the in the metaverse space, because how many other pure plays are there, right? So it's pretty compelling.
Well, Jack, I think I always say this, that everyone needs to do their own due diligence, and I've run a number of companies in the past that all started out at these kind of levels and found their own rhythm and lightning strike and done well. And I think for the average person looking at our company, what they've got to look at is holistically what we do and where all the pieces fit together. I know that we want to focus on the metaverse, which is the right place to go, but we are starting to hear more and more about how the metaverse is really Web 3.0. And I like to say what social media was to Web 2.0, the metaverse, avatars, and digital identity will be to 3.0. So it is the sharing environment, and it's a reset environment. It's the ability for everybody to coexist, where everybody knows their neighbor and everyone knows your name, right? So to classically look at Cheers. So so digital identity, which is at the core of our business, is a very, very big factor in what we're doing in the metaverse. But we've also hit a chord because one, it's not just a metaverse. It's got a fantasy and storyline to it, and there'll be more of that developing in the coming weeks. And on top of it, we have opened it up to the general public. So while most metaverses, you have to buy anything or participate in that metaverse using cryptocurrencies, we're able to do that with PayPal. So we're one of the first companies to be able to do that. So not
Yeah,
only
that actually makes it interesting. I didn't, you know, I know you mentioned before, it didn't quite sink into me, but that's actually a big difference because not everybody. I mean, even you know, you talk about the metaverse. I mean, like you know, the mainstream is not completely into the crypto yet. I mean, we're only maybe 20% market penetration, so it really helps that you're able to.
well, I want to say we work with Wax and they're phenomenal, and our partners at Waxify and Masscult. The ability to open a Wax digital wallet takes about 1 minute. You don't have to remember 17 words, and you don't have to put it in a safe, and it's really an easy, and that's why Wax has grown so well. But it also working with our partners at Masscult and Waxify using the Shopify platform. This is something that everyone is already used to. What we're not doing is we're bringing the metaverse to the masses. I think that's the easiest way to look at it, and we're doing it in a fun and engaging way, which I know we're going to show the people today. But you know, we've got hover bikes and horses, and we had dragon eggs and dinosaur eggs, and you know, you can live on an estate island, or you can live in a community island, or you can live in a themed island where a dinosaur might be running through your front yard and eat your sheep. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do that we are in planning stage. And now, as we reported this week, we've launched our play to earn game called the Lost Kingdom of Tessara. And it's a really cool idea.
So so what we're gonna do today, I mean, is we're gonna kind of go through all the recent news, like you know the Lost Kingdom of Tessara. You have a bunch of other metaverse announcements.
Yeah.
We'll go through them. Hopefully, we can answer some questions. That's really I want to focus on audience questions because that's really what this is about. So
by all means.
So how do you want to maybe do like a show and tell in terms of?
Well, maybe I can start by just explaining it because it's, you know, and then I'll give the URLs and I'll show people and they can go on. So the whole idea is that metaverses are going to take a while to build. This is not, instant chicken noodle soup. So we've got to do things in pieces. So one of the things we've done is we started with our land sales, and we'll talk about that. Then what we did is we started talking about where we're going to go and what our game plan is. And our first activity is going to be a mobile game called The Lost Kingdom of Tessara. So the backstory is very simple. The rain has stopped, the waters have receded, and islands have appeared.
Oh, David, I think this is the thing you announced just recently. This is a play to earn game.
It is a play to earn game.
No,
it's a play to earn game because we want to kickstart the economy. So to do that, we've offered a play to earn game where people can visit the Kingdom of Tessara in the mobile game. They can put villagers or minions to work, and on an automatic setting, so you don't have to play 50 minutes a day. You can play for 5 minutes a day, and they can gather resources, and then they can craft those resources, bundle them, and turn them into NFTs. Those NFTs can be used in our metaverse to build things. So we're kickstarting the economy now. Reason it's a play to earn. You can earn credits in our game, and you can earn resources, and you can effectively, it's not cryptographic proof of work, but we're deploying proof of work and staking technologies to ensure that we're moving people into the cryptographic realm. And Jack, as you know, today we announced that we're actually, for Aftermath Islands, going to be doing a utility token.
Okay.
So things are coming together.
Yeah. So let's start off with this Lost Kingdom of Tessara. So give us a storyline. Like, again, I'm seeing like all these metaverse plays. They all kind of start off with these play to earn games, right? Like to develop. Okay. So so what is this game about? Do you want to show it on screen? Do you want to do?
Well, I'll try and let me see if I can share my screen. So bear with me. Just takes a moment.
But the idea is that what people go on, they essentially get kind of hooked into it because they're earning. In theory, they're earning money. I mean, it's basically money, right?
Well, yeah. The idea is that the Lost Kingdom of Tessara is a fantasy game where you can do different things. This is again, in the upcoming weeks we'll show screenshots, but you can sign up for an early bonus and it's Aftermath Island / Lost-Kingdom of Tessara, but you can get to it from the website, the aftermathisland.com website, and you can earn bonuses. You're going to get credits and bonuses, and the whole idea is that it's got proof of work and proof of staking, and really the lore is very simple. those that are on Aftermath Islands have now found this kingdom, and it's full of wonders and riches, and they can go to it and put workers to work, literally, to explore and gather and mine and do things. And as you go through it, you can hire an explorer, you can visit the kingdoms, and you can put different people to work. And so it's fun and engaging. And then obviously it's play to earn. And you can do crafting. So you can do smelting, you'll be able to work in sawmills, warehouses, processing. All of this is very standard gameplay, but it's something to get people used to doing things and activities that will enable them to earn tokens and earn resources and earn NFTs at no cost. This is a no cost platform. It's all free. And really it's meant to support our account holders and give them things to do to start building our economy inside our metaverse. So I'll stop there for a moment and see if there's any questions that anyone might have.
Okay. Not yet.
That's okay.
Okay. So we'll maybe people are shy. They'll come in later.
Right.
But okay, so this is exciting. So when did you launch? When did you officially launch the game? Like how many users? What kind of traction?
No, the game won't launch for another probably till sometime in Q2. But we're getting people signing up today early for it. You've got to build a following for everything that you're doing in the metaverse today.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So how are you going to get people into it? Like, what's the plan?
Well, candidly, we have over 3,000 players, 3,000 account holders now on Aftermath Islands without really any marketing spend. And we're going to be doing a lot of really cool programs, which are coming up in the next few weeks that we'll announce. We're looking at working with colleges and universities and a whole bunch of associations and game clubs. And so we're out there doing that now to get everybody involved, because again, we want people active and excited. And one of the things that you can earn in the Lost Kingdom of Tessara play to earn game is you can earn Aftermath. We call them today credits. That's the code name. The actual name of the token will not be credits, but we call it credits today. And those credits are, in fact, utility tokens, but they're meant to be an in-game currency. So similar, if you've played World of Warcraft, you can earn gold, you can earn silver, you can earn, coppers. There's all kinds of things that you'll be able to earn and use, and craft and build. So if you want to be, and when I play some games, I like to craft. So there's going to be a large crafting component to everything we do, so people can start to build and earn their own revenues from doing things in the game. And then separate and apart from that part of the thematic game, our community islands are built to work, play, and learn. So you can go about your everyday lives on your community islands. And then for events and bigger players who want to hold private gatherings, we have our estate islands. So the first phase of this is sort of built around our thematic program, but we're not discounting that people will want to do things like work and play and do their regular lives, and we have all our community islands to be able to do that.
Okay, no, so and the great thing about these types of games is that well, look, I think we've gotten a bit of a preview with kind of the early success you've had just with the digital land sales with Aftermath Islands.
Yep.
$1 million, and that's a lot of money for I never heard of it before. It's crazy. So if you were able to get traction in that, I think it gives us a preview for what kind of user engagement, how many signups you can get into the Lost Kingdom of Tessara game, and this could become huge. I mean, how are these things valued though? Is it valued based on the user count? Like how does the market value?
I think it's a bit esoteric right now. I think it's. I mean, we own our own platform, so we're one of the pure plays. Although we own our own technology and avatars, and we own our technology and digital identity too. So I'll answer that question.
Okay, sorry, yeah, we got questions coming in. So
what was that question, sir? Are the
credits only spendable credits? Basically, the credits that people get from the game, playing the game, mm-hmm. Is it only spendable?
Well, the answer is simple. Right now, we're making them spendable in the game. If others wish to use them and take them as currency in their own platforms, that's up to them. But we would support that wholly. I mean, some islands trade coconuts. We're going to be, doing credit. So at the end of the day, all I can tell you is we'll be open to allow our token to be used elsewhere.
Okay, but so basically, this token, I mean, is going to trade. I mean, this is going to be trade as a crypto, basically, right?
That will be up to our partners and ourselves. Right now, we're focused on the in-game side, but it will be a utility. It will be a cryptographic token. So the answer is it is likely part of the plan, yes. But that's not at the Liquid Avatar side. That is down in our equity holdings in Aftermath Islands.
Okay, very exciting. So let's talk about, I think, there's some interesting things happening with the metaverse. So I think, I don't know, where are we right now in the space? Is it kind of like, is this like the low hanging fruit? Like I keep hearing about major brands, going into the metaverse. I think, I don't know if it was Adidas or somebody, they're opening
Walmart.
stores.
Everyone's talking about their strategy in the metaverse. And Jack, I think it's an interoperable strategy. What I mean by that is you do not see Walmart in one location in North America. They have thousands of locations. The best solution I can think of is Amazon, and I'll tell you why. So you order from Amazon on one site, but they deliver from multiple places around North America and around the world, of course. So there's warehouses in every major city, but you can order from one site. So imagine that an organization puts together a metaverse strategy, a brand. They put together a virtual location, and then each metaverse has multiple doors to get to that location. So there's multiple storefronts, but it's going to be a virtual walkthrough instead of, and we'll be able to show this in the coming months, instead of going to a website and looking at a flat listing. Your avatar will be able to walk into a store, take the item off the shelf, turn it over, play with it, read the box, click on the box, click on this, do that, do this, maybe show how I can wear that item. It's going to be pretty cool.
Okay,
that's all I can tell you.
I can kind of see. So basically, maybe for anybody that maybe you could, my imagination is kind of starting to run where you can go with this. But how does Liquid Avatar monetize on brands kind of migrating to the space? Brands like, I don't know, Walmart, Adidas, whatever. Yeah, I mentioned Adidas.
I can give you an easy example. So I'm going to use an example. So an avatar, it sounds like a bad joke every time I say it. An avatar walks into a bar, right? Or walks in and they order an energy drink, and the avatar drinks that energy drink. And because they're going to go on a quest. And when they drink that energy drink, or they put on that pair of sneakers or trainers, they get a boost. So what that means is they get a power up, just like you played in, Super Mario. They get something for doing that, and that helps them on their quest. And oh, by the way, because their permission-based marketing is turned on, and we know their identity.
This goes back to your
avatar
specialty.
Boom! They get a real-world coupon to walk in and buy that energy drink, a discounted energy drink at the store, or an incentive to buy those sneakers or trainers in the real world. So because Liquid Avatar is at the core, and consumers can opt in, all permission-based, can opt in for certain marketing, they can do things in the metaverse and they get real-world value. This is something that is unique to us because of our digital identity platform, which is free to consumers. And other metaverses are already talking to us, and we're looking at other opportunities because everybody wants multiple points of contact with the user while preserving their privacy, but also ensuring that they're a real person to play in that metaverse. So the answer is we've solved all those issues.
No, so it's so fascinating. So basically, the way this thing kind of is evolving is, let's say somebody goes into they sign up to play this game, Lost Kingdom of Tsara, right? So they're doing it's an engaging game. Some of these games have millions of users, tens of millions of users, right? Especially if it's free, right? And then while they're there, they can get, I guess somehow brands can I don't know if maybe they'll give them stuff or whatever, but they can get like special sneakers,
enhancements, bonuses,
and then that ties into
But that ties into our metaverse program too. It's not just in Lost Kingdom of Tsara. That'll be in the metaverse because all our themed islands will have quests. Or you know what? someone says, you know, on the community island said, you know what, use this branded pseudo computer and we'll give you $100 off your Apple computer or your Lenovo computer. But their branding is on the computer that they're carrying in the metaverse.
Yeah. Or it could be, you know, whatever, like, you know, I think one of your games has like hoverboards or something, or, you know,
hover bikes. Really,
hover bikes. I mean,
I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna show them. So I'm gonna take a second.
Like Honda or Tesla might say, hey, we want to put our brand on it. People so become like a Tesla, you know, hover bike.
Yeah.
And or you know, then they get some sort of coupon in the real world for, I don't know, for maybe a discount or something, basically something to engage them. But these things are all they can all be monetized. You want to show something on the screen?
I'm just trying to find it. Give me one sec. I'm trying to see where it went.
Some questions coming in.
I unfortunately, I think I've closed. Oh, there it is. Let me see if I can share it. Bear with me for one sec. I've got a number of screens open, so just bear with it.
It's I understand why they call it the Web 3.0, because just like everybody needed to have a website, you know, a website back in Web 1.0, they basically need to be in the metaverse to, you know, get business or whatever in these things.
So here's a promotion we're running right now. If you spend $300 or more, you get a single hover bike. If you spend $500 or more, you get 2 hover bikes, and they come in black, blue, reds, silver, and gold. And these are and people will randomly get these as NFTs. So again, it's a collector NFT, and it can be turned in for a hover bike when we go live. And each of the hover bikes will have different. It might be faster, they might be slower, they might have certain sounds, and that'll be based on whether they're common, limited, rare, or epic, or legendary. But again, these become rare NFTs. But here's the real super cool ones. For those, and we have quite a few people who have spent more than $5,000 already for land. If you spend $5,000 or more during the promotion period, you get the iridescent emerald hover bike, which has a whole bunch of new customization. But here's my favorite. And again, you know, I have to tell you, I've had to acquire my land. I didn't get it, you know, given to me. And I've got over 500 plots of land already. And so this is what I'm looking forward to as I reach that pinnacle. This hot rod bike, which has got super exhaust, different lights. I mean, it's really all about what is super cool, right? That's really what at the end of the day, what we're looking at is create cool incentives. But remember, these are NFTs that can be turned in for game items, but they are rare NFTs, right? So people can do what they want with them. We don't offer advice, but they are rare NFTs. So you can trade you trade with your friends, do what you want to do, but that's outside our realm of influence.
Okay. No, it's very interesting. So all this stuff at the end of the day, though, you monetize it in multiple ways. One of them, though, is with ultimately connecting brands to users through, you know, the games, and we talk about in-game or whatever it is, but
e-commerce, in-game marketing, permission-based marketing, direct sales to the consumer of our land and products and services, and digital identity. How many do you need to become a successful platform? You know, the answer and for Stephen is that jury is out. We've built platforms before that have had millions of people on it. So I don't know that we can say what the number is to become successful. I will say that I've heard a lot of different numbers, and I don't know that I'm correct. So I want everyone to take this with a grain of salt. But I've heard on some days there might be only 500 to 1,000 people on Decentraland at any given time. Now, there may be way more, and I might be really incorrect. So I don't have a stat in which to quote that. It's something I heard ad hoc. But if the numbers are that low, and they'll grow immensely. So please don't take that. When there's a festival, there's thousands of people. But look at the value of Decentraland. And so there aren't millions of people there yet. We're building a platform for millions of people to be able to congregate.
Okay. No, it's super compelling. I mean, I think in terms of from the investor side, I mean, the market kind of values these things. Yeah, it's forward looking. So the market's going to be valuing, Liquid Avatar, your kind of your metaverse world kind of based on the traction you're getting, I'm actually shocked that we haven't seen a massive move in the stock because, I don't know how many other pure plays there are in the metaverse space who can say, hey, we generated, $1 million in the last, 3-4 months, selling digital land. I mean,
well, I think we've also said a lot of things during a sort of a very quiet period in the market or a very tumultuous period in the market. So
yeah,
I think we're building a story for long term. Again, I mean, I believe it's last week we announced that our platform for the OCSA, the Ontario Convenience Store Association, and 8,000 stores has gone through proof of concept, and we're now going to pilot. So at the end of the day, Jack, our job is to deliver.
Okay, and so you have actually a couple of different lines of business, but it all revolves around digital identity. Is that?
Well, so way I like to say this, and I have to think of it visually, is at the core of our business, just like the core of a baseball, at the core of our business is digital identity. Okay, nothing happens without that core. Around that is our avatar strategy, and around that is our metaverse strategy, and all work hand in hand. We can work on them independently or cooperatively and collaborative.
Okay, so Steven's asking, will you be making any third-party partnerships to validate your platform?
I believe we will. I can't talk about them, but there's a lot of things going on, and yeah, I mean that makes perfect sense.
Okay, he's also asking, will you be looking for financing this year, or will your land sales sustain you?
We're a micro cap company. We're always looking at financing opportunities, and we're still building. I mean, the land sales currently aren't enough to sustain us long term. We hope that they will be. So will other things that we do in our business. But you've got to look at us that we're we're a micro cap company that is growing and growing exponentially. What we are looking at more so is how to minimize or eliminate, at least in short term, any dilution. We think we're at the number of shares we want to be for today, and we need to see growth before we want to start. That's what we want to do. What we need to do and what we have to do may not always coalesce, but we're very, very particular about what we're looking at in terms of financing because our growth rate is taking off.
Yeah, and I think we should add is that the last time you did a financing, I think that was in the summer, and it was a much lower price, and that
it was a much lower price.
It had like no negative effect on the stock. I mean, the stock today is
well,
double.
It did for a week or two, which was fine.
But double. You're double where you were in the summer.
Yeah, we are, and well, I mean, we have been. We're about a 50% higher right now. But the answer is, I think what we need to do is we need to be smart about what we do, because we're major shareholders. We don't want to be diluted if we don't have to either. So okay. Sorry, I saw that come up.
Question for Decentraland had a very successful crypto coin, gained tons of popular mana. I believe that the hype is where they got most of their value. Question come.
Well, I believe Mana and Sandbox. I know people from both of those organizations. They all started out around a penny or so a token. They didn't, and as the metaverse started, gaining traction, they went up. So, we're hoping that if we launch utility token, it will have value to our users. But our focus is really on growing value for the platform and hoping that all the assets and that we own and all the items around the platform will increase in value.
Okay. Let's see what else we have going on here. Okay, so you have the utility token that's launched. You got the game that's
it is launching. Everything is in early stage, and again, you don't. A lot of companies, once they actually finish, and we have delivered on the things that we've promised. So we do have a track record of saying we're going to do X and delivering Y. So the items that we're announcing today, we are very focused on getting them built as fast as possible.
Actually, you've more than delivered. You've had upside surprises. I mean, you never said that you would have, $1 million in revenues from digital land sales or whatever it is. And sure enough, there it is. So
we'd rather, under promise and over deliver. That I think that's the makings of what we think is a long-term good opportunity for all of us.
Okay. So I guess Mike is saying basically, listen, David, I should say is a lot of investors, they like
that. If that's not Mike's real name, he's been watching Porky's way too often.
So no, but there's a lot of investors who really like the fact that there's a lot of transparency here. You're keeping
Mhm.
kind of the you're keeping them updated on all things that are going on, which is very important because when you're in the business that you're in, like kind of when you're in the forest, it's kind of very hard. I mean, like it's very the stuff that you're doing is very common for you. So you almost don't even appreciate that you might be doing a million in digital land or whatever it is, and all these things happening. So it's really good that you're kind of sharing these details with investors on
Well,
a
we
regular
also
basis.
have other outlets that we use. I mean, I'm very fortunate that I'm now a regular contributor to Forbes.com. So there's articles coming out almost monthly there. And recently, I was asked to, with 3 other people to co-chair the VR/AR Association's Metaverse Committee. So I'm doing that, and then I'm going to be speaking at a number of events. So we're trying to be as transparent as we can. And I appreciate the comment, Jack. We certainly aren't going to have 4 news releases a week on average. That just is not going to happen. But we want to make sure that the markets are informed of where we're going, and that you can not only see the pattern, but you can see the story revealing, right? It's all about, can you see, if you can see all the dots being connected, you can sometimes see the end point, and that's what we're trying to do. And we believe that will attract hopefully more eyes on our product, services, and investment opportunities.
Okay, so David, let's kind of wrap up here. What
Sure.
other kind of news flow? I mean, you've been putting out updates regularly, which is
Yeah.
people appreciate. What else can they look forward to in the coming weeks and months here?
Well, we're really focused on again 3 things. There, we've talked about the MetaHero project, and we've been a bit quiet on that. You're going to see our avatar project start to pick up. Our digital identity programs will are tuning up very, very quickly, and we're working towards delivery of pilots now, and we're looking at industries like the travel industry, the health industry, the e-commerce industry, and then on the metaverse side, what you're going to start to see is you're going to start to see previews of what is going on in our metaverse. What we're thinking. I mean, you don't have to look farther than behind my shoulders to know that we have a lot of interest in the comic book industry, and we think that industry and the people there are some of the best storytellers. And Marvel's made multi-billion-dollar business out of it. The storytelling is really important, but again, we want to focus not only on the themed aspects, but the community aspects and the estate aspects, so that we have a really unique environment. And then lastly, this is really, really important. We are focused on interoperability, the ability to take our products and services on all levels, our digital identity, our avatars, and our metaverse, and making them work with others.
Okay, David, last question thing here, and then we got to wrap up. Okay, so question: why do you think we haven't seen any other crypto metaverse companies go public? I mean, we've seen Coinbase. There's actually a few, but there's not any
But
really
not
pure
really
play. Yeah,
metaverse, because one, most of
so it's
these
not.
metaverse organizations are run by individuals that their heads are focused around cryptocurrency, and they're builders, they're gamers, and so I think most of them would rather stay private because they haven't had the experience to want to do what I'm doing right now, right? It's we've got a public company, and then we have operating companies, and you've got to treat
And I
them
think,
both.
and this is the great opportunity I think for investors is because
Yeah,
there are very, very few pure plays
yeah.
in the metaverse space. I mean,
I believe
especially
I
at
mean, you
this
can invest
level.
in Meta if you want. You go out
Yeah,
and buy Facebook stock. You can look at ourselves and maybe a
yeah.
couple others.
This is from like what I like about this from the investment concept is yeah, I don't, it's like I don't know of any other pure plays that are actually generating substantial revenues like you are in the metaverse space that are
Yep.
at this market cap and at a 20-cent stock price. And we've seen. Look, I have seen what happens when a theme becomes hot. Whether it was originally the .com era, when there were very few companies, and whatever was out there all of a sudden went up, or even the cannabis era, which people remember, like because there was only a handful of cannabis stocks, the few that were out there all went crazy or psychic, what have you. But so I think the metaverse is going to heat up this year, and it's going to be,
Yeah.
could be a real
And I think
massive.
we're going to see I think we're going to see a lot of spec plays in the metaverse, but you have to ask yourself, what are they really doing? What are they really doing? And how do the pieces fit together? And does management have the understanding, knowledge, and experience to make this happen? And have they done this before and been successful at it? And I think I would like to think personally we check those boxes. And I've said this in the last few days. We've been fortunate to have lightning strikes in our other companies in the past. And again, past performance is no indication of future performance. But I like to think in the back of my mind, I'm starting to hear thunder. And so the rumblings are happening because we're doing, in my humble opinion, we're doing all the right things to be successful. Now, we're not going to be perfect, and we are going to, fall over our feet every once in a while, but I think we're doing all the right things that we can do to start setting the parameters of success in motion.
Yeah. And again, David, I've said this before, is like, my thesis, the kind of the investment thesis when you first, signed on as onto our next super stock program last year, as a client, I said, I really don't understand like what the hell this guy's talking about. But I do know that, he's had some massive wins and he's been very early into, huge spaces, whether it was e-commerce or like early on when it was, nobody understood it. So I'm hoping that lightning will strike a third time or whatever it is here. And, this will soon be a $10 stock, maybe, who knows?
Well, you know what? I'm happy to see regular value increases and seeing our investors do well, right? I mean, we're investors as well. And I want to also say one other thing, Jack, which question comes up quite often. And why isn't management buying its own stock? I mean, I hear this all the time. If you're seeing the 4 releases that we put out this week, you can imagine how much more is behind the curtains right now. And I'm not saying, I'm not giving any insight or any forward looking on that. We have to be careful that we are not involved when the market could potentially be infected. Not from a materiality standpoint, but we're just very, very, very careful. We don't want to give people the wrong indication and we are committed and we are steadfast in our commitment to our company and its success. So we are heads down building right now.
Okay. On that note, David, I want to thank you, and we look forward to hearing more about what you're doing in the metaverse in the coming weeks.
Thanks. Be well, everyone.